So as I started to try to get my head around the size of this project and where to start, I kind of walked around the boat and tried to figure out what to do first. And I decided the best thing to do is try and get the bottom of the hull ready for the paint. So I got some tools and I tried to bend the broken piece of the back of the transom spine up from the hole it was pushed into. And had to bend that out and get all the dirt out of there and get it to where I could try and find a way to fix it. And then I took a rubber mallet and I started walking around the boat and dealing with the pieces that were bent, dealing with the rivets that were sticking out, trying to pound them back in, dealing with the malalignments of some of the places of the hole where it wasn't straight. And then I started trying to get rid of the oxidation. So I took a sanding disc and put it on a drill and started trying to grind the oxidation off. And you can see by looking at that disc, a couple different attempts pretty quick told me that was not going to be a very great solution. So then I got the mouse out, which is one of my small orbital sanders with a little point on it. I plugged that in. And I started trying to take the oxidation off with the sander, and that was even worse than the orbital. So my next attempt was to get a wire brush and start trying to grind off the surface with the wire brush. And this was a lot more slow, but it was a lot more effective. And piece by piece, inch by inch, centimeter by centimeter, I started grinding off all the oxidation and corrosion and crap off of the surface of the hull and getting down to nice, clean, shiny metal. And it really worked out my drill. And it really worked out the wires on those little wire brushes. But as you can see, I really started to get down to a nice, clean surface. So I tried to get it up under the edges. I tried to get it up under all the folds. I tried to get it around all the rivets. And eventually, I started making pretty good progress. So I decided to go all the way to the water line and try and get it clean enough for the paint or the sealer. And then the transom. Okay, so this half is pretty much polished down to the water line. This side we've just started. There was a whole bunch of old attempts at sealing cracks and leaks along this seam. And I've had to grind it all out one little slow inch at a time with wire brushes. I burned a whole bunch of them up trying to get it all off. And then we're going to go all the way to the end, get all the rivets clean. There's one rivet we're going to have to replace right here. And then I ordered some stuff on the internet called Coat It, made by Goop. That's an epoxy resin sealer that has Kevlar fibers in it. And the Kevlar is going to make it tough and durable, and it should seal all these rivets, so hopefully it won't leak when we're done. I'm down to the last little bit of grinding. I want to shoot some video of what that's like. You got to use this wire brush on a drill and cover every inch of all these rivets. Had to get all the glue that was up underneath this seam. And I just got this last section of this quarter panel left to do, and then we're to the water line. And then I can buff it and get ready to put the sealer on. So I'm going to shoot a little video while we do that. And that looks like about it. Finally done with grinding. We've got the whole water line and below all polished down. And mostly, except for what's right under the handles, all polished down. And the crack in the beam across the bottom, I found this piece of hard steel that we could reinforce it with, so I drilled some holes and put some rivets in that. So we tacked down the tail, And structurally, we're getting pretty good. The only thing I've got left to figure out on the bottom is the piece that covers this up and protects the bow at that end of the rib. And I ordered the goop that we're going to cover the bottom with and seal all the seams with, but it's not here yet. So the project we're working on today is the protection for the keel. And I went round and round and round and round how to do it. I think I figured it out. So I found a piece of 1-inch square channel aluminum. And this is 1 inch, and it's a little bit wider at the base than it is at the top. So I had to bend this out and mess around with it a little bit and drill a couple holes. And then I had a bar just sticking out. And I've done some measurements, and I've looked around, and I made a couple cuts with my jigsaw. I was able to fold it once at a corner here, and 2 times at this big round corner here. And when I'm all done, that'll be one continuous smooth piece that will knock away any trees or rocks or bushes as we go through the water and protect that keel from getting cracked. So I think that's gonna work. So I gotta drill some holes and get it anchored on there. Well, apparently the file on my GoPro of me doing the power washing got corrupted, so we don't have that. But this is what it looks like clean. Everything's completely clean, completely dry. We have a little bit of overcast sky, so it's gonna be just right. I went around and used some masking tape and taped off where I'm gonna stop the paint line all the way around, make sure that's ready to go, and this is dry and clean and ready for the coat it.